This is the Church of Santa Cruz, the Holy Cross, built in 1902 out of the finest Madrileño-style Neo-Mudéjar brickwork. The tower can be seen from all over the city. In fact, before they built the Telefonica building, at 85 meters, it was one of the tallest structures in the city. But it wasn't always that way. Before the church was built, there was another church here, the Convento de Santo Tomás, built by the same Dominican friars who were in charge of the Virgen de Atocha. One of the patrons was the Conde Duque de Olivares, and he made sure that it was one of the most splendid churches in Madrid. But in order to build here, they had to evict an old man who had been cultivating this land. He had a little farm here, which he used the viaje de agua from Moorish times to irrigate. Now, when he was evicted, when he was pushed out, he cursed everyone and cursed the building they were going to build here, and then disappeared into one of the tunnels. 20 years after the church was built, there was a fire. In the middle of the 17th century, part of the church burned down. Many people were trapped behind the grillwork and burnt to death. Then, about 100 years later, in 1726, the church dome collapsed during Mass, killing many, many people. Finally, in the 19th century, during the First Carlist War, General Zumarracarregui's troops were just outside the gates of Madrid. Was Madrid safe? No. Madrid was in the middle of an epidemic of cholera. Hundreds of people were dying every day. People didn't know what to do. Madrileños decided to blame the priests. They thought they were responsible for poisoning the wells and the fountains where people got their water. A mob of people descended on this church and killed as many of the priests as they could find. Then, in 1873, a fire erupted in this church like a volcano. Flames and ashes went up into the night sky of Madrid. During the demolition, after the fire, the dome collapsed again, killing 3 workers and burying one of them alive for 14 hours. During the rescue operation, people could hear demonic laughter, someone with an inhuman, eerie voice. Then in 1902, the Marqués de Cubas, the most famous architect of his time, designed this church in the most castizo style he could. And it received nothing but praise after the catastrophes surrounding its predecessor. But then, shortly after its consecration, people were shocked to see a cloud rising up into the sky. It cast a shadow over the entire neighborhood. Then, it began to solidify. It moved slowly from side to side and then spoke in a language that nobody could understand. And then it vanished. Well, here we are at the beginning of the 21st century, and nothing has happened since that time. We're beginning to think that perhaps this church is no longer haunted.